Hello and welcome back to Glorified Gutsy Gaming, or welcome for the first time if you're new here. Just thanks for watching right off the bat. I have been doing a lot of top 10s the last last, I don't know, 6 months or so. Today we're going to do something a little different. We've done a couple little different things, but this is one that I have never done before. I'm going to show you all what I will be culling from my collection. A lot of stuff. This whole table that you're on is just full of games, expansions. There's a couple conventions coming up that these might be available at, or a couple of them I already know I'm trading, and some might just hit eBay. So without further ado, I'm just gonna get right to it because there's a lot to cover here. So first, with a little tiny game, Eminent Domain Microcosm. I think I got this in a trade at one of our conventions probably a year or two ago. We've actually played this one. It's pretty good. I just already forgot how to play it. It's only 2-player, and we haven't played it again, and I think that we probably won't. And we're starting small. I have Save the Last Dance for me. We've played this one a lot in the past. 4 to 8 player game. We actually just had like 8 or 10 people over it, and I didn't even pull it out. It's very simple, but I just don't see us wanting to play it. It doesn't take up a lot of space, which I think is part of why we've kept it as long as we have. It's a decent game, but there's just a lot of options that we have and that are out there, and this just isn't going to be one for us. And then this one I'm kind of sad about. This is Skunked. I won a copy of this, and then of course had it signed later, you can see, at a different convention, but I won it at a convention, and I hate that it's in a bag for one. I wasn't happy with that right off the bat, and you can see it got dusty and dirty, which is unfortunate. And we've actually tried to play it and couldn't. We read the rules and could not figure out how to play. Rules are important, and this is now the second game ever. So we're now, give or take, 10 years into this. Only the second game I've played that I could not figure out how to play at all. Like, couldn't even start. So it's just not going to work. And then I have a game with an expansion, or a couple expansions. This is the Brigade from Red Genie Games. I've actually played this one quite a lot in the past and enjoyed it. I initially gave it a 9. And what happened, though, as we've played more with 3 players or 4 players, we found kind of a winning formula. And if you can't do that formula for whatever reason, or if the deal kind of leans towards somebody else, you're just not going to win. I had won it every time until I tried a different strategy. And even if you're actively aware of the strategy, if somebody else has a leg up on you, you're not going to win. Even if you try to stop them, it's like it's not able to happen. I could not come up with a way to do it. Though I think the game is really cool. I wish that problem didn't exist, because otherwise everything else is great. I really like a lot of it. So I said the score for that initially. I don't know what it is now, or if I left it at a 9 initially, but I've definitely declined on it. I think I gave both of these games 7s. And I also have the expansion for the Brigade here. I've never actually played it, so no need to have it, though, if you don't have the base game. Another small one. This is one that we played a long time ago. It kind of got me partially back into the hobby when I played with somebody else who probably doesn't even play games anymore. And I think I had bought it for a gift for Katie when we first started dating, and we've played it a decent amount. But it's not one that we reach for or have played in years at this point. And I think just because it was small, we've kept it around. I think I gave that one a 6 or a 7. And then I have Tomb Traders. We played this, or Tomb Trader. We played this one time a couple years ago, and I actually thought it was pretty decent from level 99. And we've not played it since, and I'm not really excited to play it again. So it wasn't good enough, I don't think. I think that one's also a 7. Well then, I'm just gonna go with what's in front of me. I have a lot of Heroescape stuff. So I thought I was going to be able to organize some events here, and I can, but I cannot get prize support from Renegade. They will not give it to me. I had talked to the Gaming Caravan and the local Strategist Wargamer store, and could not really get anything going, so I think I'm just going to have to get rid of all this stuff. But I have order markers for that, and a couple different types of promos. I have the Sergeant Drake promo. I've got 2 of those. And the Decker promo, I have 1, 6, 7 of those. And I actually really like those characters, but I already have a couple of them. And I actually just won a painted Decker promo from Roguescapers, so thanks. I have still not painted mine. I have one primed, and I've never painted it. And I haven't really worked in the last couple months very much, and yet I still haven't painted it, so I probably never will. So I'm glad to have won a copy of it. I can't put that back in there. So hopefully, hopefully I can play with it more. The new, the new figures that just came out, the chain gruts that bond with Decker, make him a lot better. Like, I already liked him, and now I like him more. So now we're gonna have a painted one. That's awesome. And then I have a couple more promos. I have 8 of the Raylan figure. I've actually not really played with her a ton. I played 1 game and got my butt kicked like immediately. So didn't go well. And then this is the only non-gaming item, but this will probably have to go to eBay. But this is a graded copy of Marvel Team Up with Spider-Man and Invincible from 20-ish plus years ago at this point. And gonna have to sell that one. I am not reading comics really anymore, and it's probably my most valuable one, so time to get rid of it. And then one I talked about somewhat recently, actually, Monumental. I like this one a lot. I think I gave it an 8. It's a deck building 4X, but I don't know why they call it a 4X, because it's really not, in my opinion, anyway. Really cool Civilization game with like grid-based deck building, which I think is really cool. Katie hated it. We played it for my birthday like 6 months ago, and I will probably never play it again. It's like almost too long to play compared to other deck builders, and there's a lot of little rules that I'd have to like relearn every time, I think. And there's a lot of variance in there, but as far as like the 4X stuff goes, it's rather weak, and I don't think the rest of the game really makes up for it enough for me to want to do that work. And again, not being able to play with Katie is a huge factor in that decision. The other people I play deck builders with, I just don't think we're going to ever have time to do it, because if we haven't had time to play our normal games that we play together, I don't think I'm going to have time to play a new one. So, and then I have the African Empires expansion for it. I ordered that like right when I was learning how to play it and was all excited, and it was relatively cheap at the time. Not played that expansion, and now I certainly will not. And then this one's kind of a shocker, because I like this one too, but I'm never going to play it. This is Guards of Atlantis 2. This is one that I've talked about a decent bit, and my friend at the Gaming Caravan really loves this game and the style game, and I'm assuming he's going to want this. But he's the only one I'm ever going to play with, so I don't need it. It's a team-based game where you need 4, 6, 8 players, whatever it is, with expansions. I can't even find the expansions because they sold out, and they'll probably make more or reprint them eventually. I don't see playing it here. I played it at a convention twice, brought it to a convention to play, and that's just not, I feel like that's not going to do it for me. Not worth taking up my space and storing it here. And I think I gave that one a high score too, like an 8 or a 9. Alright, and then next I have Raccoon Tycoon. I got this at a virtual flea market some years ago for like $15 or so. And we've played it, I think, a year ago now. And it's kind of like an economics-based game with animals. And we thought it was fun, we thought it was good, but we have not played it since, and we haven't gone back to it, and I don't really remember how to play it. And I just don't think that we will play it again in the future, like, at all. So, I'm gonna go ahead and cut that one. And I think I'd given that one an 8. And then I have the Court of Miracles. And this is one that I had pre-ordered and played a really long time ago, like before we moved here. So we're looking at like 8 years ago, 7 years ago. And Katie didn't like it then. It's an area control game, and I thought that I would eventually try it with more people or anything, and my desire to do so has only declined. I think I gave that one a 7. All right. And then next I have a big zombie game, Darker, Darkest. And it's one that we played like 2 years ago. One time I had got excited, learned it, set it up like during our work week to play on the weekend. And then some of Katie's family came over and ruined that game setup by putting and moving the stuff on the board, which really, really irked me. And then it irked me more when we did finally play it that weekend, or later that weekend, and played for like 2 hours, learning, you go back and forth through the rulebook, learning it, playing it, and then found out when we lost that it was unwinnable because the setup had been messed up because they moved the stuff. And I was really excited and thought we'd go back to it, and we never have. And it was a lot of work, and we probably never will. And co-op games just don't really come back around very often for me. And then some really expensive things here. And I think I had given that one a 7 or an 8. This is one you've probably seen in the background of all my videos for a long time. And this is Hellenica, Story of Greece. This is a 4X civilization game where the 4X is also a little weak in that one. Played it a couple times a couple years ago, and I do like it. It has so much just in the base box that I will never ever see it all. I think I gave that one an 8 also. I enjoyed my plays of it, but it requires relearning it every time because there's a lot to it. And there's some things about it that I think could have been better. The rules could have been a tad better. And I have the sequel behind me right there that's based in China that I think I'm just more interested in, if I'm being honest. And yeah, I don't see this one getting played anymore, and it's been kind of just sitting here. And then to go with it, I have the minis expansion that kind of adds, I think for the boats it's cool, but the figures don't really fit all in the spaces. And then also for this, I have the Leaders and Legends expansion that I had bought after we had played it like one time and thought that it was going to be a bigger hit for my group. And we've never played the expansion, and I don't think it ever will happen. Like I said, the base box has so much stuff in it that it would be a miracle that I ever get to it. Then I have a couple more Hero Escape things. I have 3 boxes of Lava Terrain that retails for $70 or so, depending on where you go. And the store that I was playing at in Jacksonville decided to stop carrying stuff, or stop supporting it, I guess, and did a 50% off sale, so I went and just bought kind of as much as I could. And I recently traded one of the sets to get some of the G.I. Joe stuff I didn't buy. It ended up actually costing me twice as much if I had just bought it myself. So I'm going to just sell these. I bought, I think, 6 of them, 5 of them, something like that. Ended up keeping 2. I didn't know how many I was going to want, and I thought they might make good things, again, for our events that I was hoping to be able to host. And it seems that Renegade doesn't care. So I guess I'm not going to host any events in Orlando, even though that would be the biggest place in Florida, I think, to host these events. I thought they would make great first place prizes to get some terrain, but not going to happen. All right, now I have Draco. I think I paid $5 or $10 for this at a virtual flea market a couple years ago. We played early this year or late last year. It's a 2-player only game. It kind of reminded us of Unmatched, and we liked it. Actually, both of us liked it. I think I gave it a 7 or an 8, and just I don't think that we're going to play it compared to Unmatched, and at only 2, it doesn't have as much versatility as Unmatched, so I just don't think that it's going to get played. And I don't necessarily think it's that much easier than Unmatched to try to like teach somebody that. So it's just not gonna go. And then this is one that I've had a long time, Uncharted. We played it several years ago with the last house we lived in, so it's probably been like 8 years now, and we've never gone back to it. So I don't think that we will. And then I have Survive Space Attack, and it also has a 5 or 6 player expansion in it. I played the original version at Dice Tower East a few years ago, really liked it, and then went and bought this from the vendors. It's probably the only vendor thing I've ever bought at a convention, and I've only played it like twice since, 3 times maybe, and I gotta say I like the original version more, and the game kind of is the same every time, so like it shouldn't be, but it kind of is, and just not going to play it anymore. Kind of forget we have it. And another one that I talked about a couple months ago, Dodo's Riding Dinos from Detestable Games. I quite like most of their stuff, but there's a couple hits or misses. I played this for my birthday this last year also, and just I don't think that it's strategic enough to be fun. I feel like it's like a take that race, and whoever has the best stuff is going to win. It's fine. It's not like not amazing. And again, I had 8 people over, and it wasn't something that we even. I mean, it plays to 6 apparently, but like we weren't even considering it. So time to go. And then one I never thought I would get rid of either. This is the Night Cage. This is a co-op horror game that we played a couple times, and there's more stuff in the box than we've actually seen. But we kind of felt like we figured out how to solve it a little bit, but just didn't play with the rest of the stuff. And yeah, it's been a couple years since we've played it, and we don't even pull it out on Halloween now. And I had backed this expansion for it, and I think I've had this expansion for 2 years, and we've never played it. So another co-op that we're not going to play probably. And I think some people got the expansion before me, even though I backed it on Kickstarter. I think Barnes & Noble started selling it retail before I got it, and it was the same price, if not better, actually, than what I paid. So maybe a sour taste in my mouth kind of ruined it for me too, but just the truth of the matter. And then one, it's not technically mine, so I'm not technically getting rid of it, but one that we've talked about playing or getting back to for years, and we haven't. This is Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. This is my brother-in-law's, and I'm going to try to give it back to him because I want my space back. And he's the only one we play with, and we're not playing it. So maybe he wants it back. All right, got a whole new stack. This is a classic. This is Seven Wonders. I actually don't know which version this is. I know that there's a second edition. It doesn't say second edition, so I'm guessing it's the first one. A friend of ours actually came over and taught us this, and we had a good time with it, and we've now played the 3 original ones, the duel, and the little tiny one that's really expensive. And we liked it. I don't think that it's one that we're going to come back to, unfortunately. I think I gave it a 7. 7 Wonders, 7 overall. And just not a draft. Like, it's a good drafting or civilization game. It does both, but I just don't think it's the best civilization game, and I don't think it's the best drafting game. So what's the point? And then one that we've talked about on the channel years ago when we were kind of doing this, Dice Throne Santa vs. Krampus was the first Dice Throne that we tried, and I liked it initially. I gave it an 8 to start with, and now it's like down to a 6. I even have the minis for it for the Dice Throne Adventures that I don't even have. And so that set I liked less and less as I went, and I've tried more Dice Throne since then, and it's the worst one that I've played. so I'm just not that interested in it. And then I have another one. This is a Marvel, which is Captain Marvel and Black Panther. We played this one, and I thought it was fine. I thought it was better than Santa vs. Krampus, but not by much. I like the bigger one with Spider-Man. But then I have another one. This is Black Widow and Doctor Strange. I've actually not even played this, but we're just not going to play Dice Throne anymore. And one more that I haven't played. This is the Deadpool one. I got this on Kickstarter when I thought we were going to like Dice Throne a lot more or stay consistent with it. And I really like Deadpool and Unmatched, and I'm not even going to play this one. I didn't really like the way they ran their campaign, and it left a really nasty taste in my mouth like the whole time. And I was really hoping to try to play these before getting rid of them, even though Katie doesn't like them that much, and it's just not going to happen. And I've just given up on it. King of Tokyo is better. Unmatched is better. Funkoverse is better. I think it's super overrated. It's just not that good. And then I've got a last stack of games here. I think these are probably going to be traded. But some that I've had for a really long time and I didn't think I was going to get rid of because I have a bunch of them. But this is the DC deck building game. This is the Teen Titans Go one. It has a couple little expansions in it. I actually kind of like this one. This was the first one I played, where you have sidekicks, but it's kind of a lot to keep up with. So I don't actually think that it hits the right target audience if you're trying to play like with kids or try to get somebody into it. I think it's a little bit more involved. And I just like the head-to-head stuff a little bit better, and that one's not that. And this is one I actually just talked about as one of the best games of the year that I had played, of whatever the year was. This is Dark Knight's Metal. I actually like this one a lot, but again, for the system, I'd rather play other ones. I think it's one of the better ones of the base system of DC Deck Builder, but I like the Injustice upgraded stuff, and I like the Rivals head-to-head stuff better. And then a bunch more of them. We've got the Heroes Unite, the Base, Teen Titans, and Forever Evil. I think I've given them all like 8s or so. Forever Evil I technically bought twice because the first one was damaged and returned. And most of these, like I said in a couple of different videos, I haven't played DC Deck Building game in about 2 years, even though I have all these. And these were our least favorites, or ones that we played once or twice, even though we thought, oh, this is a fun little gimmick in this one. It's not the one that we default to, and I'm just not going to ever go play these. And I don't think I'm going to mix and match them like I had kind of hoped to do eventually. I think what I've decided to do is keep the Rivals sets that are head-to-head 2 players, because that's just how I prefer to play it anyway. And if I do want to play with more people, I'm just going to play with Confrontations. It's the same style as Rivals, but with more players. And it just has more of that stuff. And I kept Injustice that's a little bit upgraded. It's a little better in my opinion. And that is everything that I'll be culling and getting rid of as of right now. There's a couple things that I've looked at and I'm thinking about, but those are the ones that I think we're for sure going to get rid of. It's a lot of games. I think it's like 40 games or so. But yeah, you might see them at a virtual flea market near you or eBay. Thanks for watching.